There we go. What is going on, everybody? How the heck are you? Let's see if I can figure out how to. I'm using Restream for the first time, so you have to bear with me just a smidge because I'm learning as I'm going here. There we go. Anyway, welcome to this live update. Just kind of felt like checking in today, and I wanted to use Restream because I haven't done that myself yet. Let's get this friggin' thing. You're going to come loose and you're going to fall. And it's going to be very loud when it happens. So we're just going to leave that there. Anyway, I like that. I got to get used to the new thing. I like that I have the chat over here. That's friggin' awesome. So good to see Michael. Good to see Daniel. Good to see JJ popping in. Yeah, it just felt like popping on, saying hello, waiting for my delivery from the great Spark origin in Arkansas, of course, for those of you that are aware, and actually waiting for some ant spray because the teenager decided to leave his DoorDash on the kitchen counter yesterday, and there's a little trail going all along the back. So I'm just waiting till the ant spray gets here because apparently I'm out. Didn't know that until I went to make my breakfast, and there it was, just ants everywhere, and it was all right. Score. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good day so far. There you see the chat. It's over here now. I will get used to this eventually. I'm not used to having the screen be mirrored. I don't know if I can make that a thing or not be a thing, rather. So if I can figure it out, I will. Let me see if I can. Let's see. Mirror. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So now I can just go. Very good. All right. So now the chat's where it's supposed to be. Anyway. Okay. So it's not mirrored. It's you guys are seeing me as I'm supposed to be seeing. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on. The news is kind of filtering in today across all genres, not just wrestling. But they made Saturday Night's Main Event official just a little bit ago. Very excited about that. I had originally been hearing that they were going to run that show directly opposite AEW World's End, and they were going to run it in the same city, but it looks like they're bringing it. Ironically, they're bringing it back to where the show first was broadcast from, which was Long Island. So, the fact that they're using MJF's hometown, even though it's, Long Island's always been a WWE stronghold. It's the old Nassau Coliseum, which is too friggin' cool that they're bringing it back to Nassau. But I was contemplating maybe covering both, having the seeing if the team wanted to cover both in the same day and just make a big old war about it. But it's like, they're different days. It's not as fun. So we'll see. If you are a follower of the greater entertainment world, there is some shit going down with Sean Combs. My goodness. Again, I don't follow it enough to have an informed opinion about his life and his choices, but it is just another example of everything comes back in the end. Everything comes back around. So we live in a society that nothing will ever be forgotten again or overlooked again, or however you want to say it. So just, you got to be aware, folks. Also, I saw on Pat McAfee's show this morning that Sheamus officially re-signed with the WWE, so that's pretty cool. Happy for Sheamus. I know in the old Casa days, we really cracked hard on Sheamus because of being Triple H's workout buddy, but Sheamus has really come into his own. He's really proven that he is one of the guys, right? He's, Pat McAfee Pat said, he's a lad of lads. He's awesome. So I'm happy for Sheamus that he's got a new contract. I'm happy that Saturday Night's Main Event's coming back. I see, when I was first coming into my fandom, Saturday Night's Main Event was already kind of an afterthought, in that I think there was only one after I became a fan that was actually broadcast on it, maybe two. Because after the Survivor Series 1990, there was one. Okay, so maybe there was two. But I'll remember that because it was the one I remember seeing from, I think it was the spring of 1991 is when Tugboat eliminated Hogan from the Battle Royal. That I look really pale and really like ghastly. So let me just turn that. Oh my goodness, how much better is that? Hi guys. Anyway, and it was starting to build toward his heel turn, becoming Typhoon, hooking up with the Quake and becoming the Natural Disasters. And man, watching 1994 WCW right now and hearing Hogan and them calling him a natural disaster, and even though it was the Avalanche, and my goodness, it was just crazy. And yeah, Daniel, to your point, the rumor and innuendo is that Jesse the Body Ventura is going to be part of this, back on commentary. If you watch his interview with Chris Van Vliet, it was pretty cool to see Jesse kind of getting back into the element that we first saw him. Saturday Night's Main Event was one of those shows that if you were a fan in the heyday of Hulkamania, it was the show. Yes, you had the main show, the flagship show, if you will, which was syndicated. It was Superstars of Wrestling, which of course just became Superstars. You had, All American on USA. You had TNT, which I believe was also on USA Network. So there were a lot of shows. Saturday's Main Event was awesome in that it was a presence on network television. It was on one of the big channels. It was on NBC, which back in 1985, it was NBC, CBS, and ABC. There was no Fox. There was no UPN, CW, whatever it has evolved into. And there was very little cable. Primetime Wrestling was also on at that point on USA after TNT kind of faded away. But when Saturday's Main Event first premiered, TNT I think was still on. Again, I'm not that far back in my fandom. I was a wee lad, as Noah would say, when Saturday's Main Event premiered. But I remember seeing the two episodes on Fox in 1992. One where Sid made the definitive heel turn against Hogan, and then the one later in the year where the British Bulldog dropped the Intercontinental Championship to Shawn Michaels. And then, of course, it came back, in the mid 2000s, in the DX return era. It never really, for me anyway, really really gained any ground or, caught a foothold, however you want to phrase it. So I'm looking forward to it with the way that WWE is presented now. And again, it's going to change drastically in just a couple of weeks. You've got all three shows on USA Network. NXT's moving to CW. Of course, Raw's moving to Netflix in January. SmackDown will be on USA, but then we'll have Saturday's Main Event in that slot on NBC, which I think is really cool. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being a fan and watching the things, and I'm looking forward to, in a couple weeks, grabbing the old JR style cowboy hat over there and getting into a little 90s country karaoke with the folks on the Saturday Shenanigans. There was a lot of double talk about what happened and why I left, but I'm looking forward to going back on Saturday, the 28th, for the karaoke. This Saturday's no good. I have the plans, but we'll see how things lay out. Actually, that was supposed to be an NBC special too. That was back in 95, WrestleMania 11. God help us. It was going to be an NBC special, and it petered out. So Fox aired the two WrestleMania main events. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Jay. Saturday Night's Main Event late 2000s was like watching deleted scenes from Raw and SmackDown. There you go. And then so the first In Your House was May of 95. I'm approaching that on my binge. I'm getting ready to start on 95. It was May of 95. It was the fallout from WrestleMania. 11. Again, that dreaded WrestleMania. Diesel versus Sid was the main event, and we just recently lost Sid, and Kevin Nash himself has been in the news lately with one Logan Paul. So yeah, it's we were saying it a lot when I was still active every day on here, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twix, that it's great being a wrestling fan again. And my phone's ringing. Awesome. So I need to answer that. Excuse me 1 second. All right. Well, I need to go. That was something I have to go deal with, unfortunately. However, thank you for allowing me to check in and say hello. Shit just got a lot worse, so I really should have probably checked in later. But now I get to go handle duty calls as a parent. Thank you guys for tuning into this really briefly. I will see you tomorrow on the Greg Show. Today's Tuesday. See you tomorrow on the Greg Show.